Alright, so I thought I'd take a little study break in the middle of the morning, middle of the night, and show you the new iPhone 4S. Um, Everybody who knows me knows that I have a serious cell problem. Um, I have a different phone every month. But I had recently decided I wanted to go back to an iPhone. I'd had the original iPhone, an iPhone 3GS, an iPhone 4. Um, my biggest problem had almost unilaterally been notifications. They were awful on iOS. Android, they were pretty good. WebOS, they were pretty good. iOS, it was just alerts that would pop up and um, get in your way. But they've changed that now. They changed a lot of things in iOS 5. Now, when you're on the lock screen, if you double press, it gives you a little camera button, and you can just go straight into the camera. That's pretty neat. Um, I don't have any notifications set up here. Let's see, I'll just email myself really quick. But basically what happens now when you get a notification, you can basically just slide from the home screen like you can do on the lock screen. No, sorry Siri, I don't want you yet. Um, that's Siri. But you basically just slide from the lock screen, and that will take you right to that app. So whenever that email comes in, that'll work. I can do Siri real quick. So Siri is the new personal assistant. It's only on the iPhone 4S. And I was thinking about it this weekend, and I was thinking Siri's kind of weird because you have to have a network connection. It used to be with the old voice control on the 3GS and the 4 that you didn't need a network connection, that you could say, play playlist recent and it would start playing. But Siri requires a network connection, either mobile data or Wi-Fi. And so I'm guessing the requirement for a 4S is that it does some super quick on-chip encoding, perhaps, beams it over the network, and then it gets transferred back. That's the only explanation I can come up with, because if it's offloading the data to the cloud and then beaming it back, you would think that an iPhone 4 would be able to handle that. Maybe it can. Maybe they're just trying to keep that exclusive for the iPhone 4S for now. Who knows? But Siri's pretty cool. The first few days I thought, oh, this is kind of boring. But it does some pretty amazing things. I can say something like, what's on my schedule for today?
Okay, Matthew, I found for appointments for today.
And you can't actually see my calendar. Aha, there we go. And so it pulls up my calendar. And then I can say something like, what's the weather like in Tokyo?
Okay, here's the weather for Tokyo, Japan today through this Sunday.
That's pretty ridiculous. And I found, if you start asking it a series of questions, like if I were to ask, what's the weather like in Seattle? Or what's the weather like in Paris? And then I change the subject, sometimes it thinks you're still asking that same loop of questions, so it'll get the translation wrong. But it's super neat, and you can do stuff like text mom and tell her I won't be home until later.
Here's your message to Mom. Ready to send it?
Cancel.
Okay, I won't send it.
So it's one of those things that you don't think like, oh, I would use that. But your voice is so much faster than typing. And I mean, you may be quick. And there are, as I get a text message, there are instances where you can't obviously talk to your phone. If you're in a meeting or Here's how the slide notifications work. My friend Chris is texting. Basically, you slide like that, and it takes you right to the program. I'm not going to do it because it may show his phone number. No, it doesn't. But anyways, so there's sometimes that you're still going to need to type, but if you're just out and about and you're just like, send text to Tay, happy birthday.
Here's your message to Tay. Ready to send it?
It was my sister's birthday earlier today. But it's super neat. I mean, it's one of those things, it's probably like most smartphone features where you don't think like, oh, I'd use that, and then you use it constantly. The only problems I've had, like I've said, sometimes if you ask it a series of questions, it doesn't pull out of the loop. Um, and the data connection, I'm currently on Sprint. I'm taking it back tomorrow. The data speeds on Sprint are pretty awful compared to AT&T, and a few times Siri has had problems connecting. It shows full 3G strength, 4 bars, and it comes back with a bad data connection. So I'm actually going to swap it out for AT&T. I decided that I'll have to just train myself to use less than 2 gigs of data every month. But Siri is awesome, and part of the new notifications is this pull-down drawer. If you've had Android, it's pretty similar. Let me try and... But it's pretty neat. And like, normal iOS 5, it has multitasking. You can swipe through. It's got an 8 megapixel camera with 1080p video recording. I haven't really done much videos. I took some pictures. It takes phenomenal pictures. But then again, the iPhone 4 already took pretty good pictures. So I guess the question is, should you upgrade? If you're on a 3GS or a similar iPhone, you can upgrade at $199 or $299. I would upgrade. If you have an iPhone 4, oh, that's the other thing I love about iOS. Set a reminder.
Okay, just tell me what you want to be reminded about.
Remind me to call home when I leave school.
When would you like me to remind you?
When I leave Stetson Gulfport.
Sorry, I don't understand. When I leave Stetson Gulfport. You can be reminded at a time, or when you leave or arrive somewhere. When would you like me to remind you?
When I arrive at Apple International Plaza.
I don't know what you mean by when I arrived at.
Okay, that didn't work. But anyways, you can set location-based reminders so that I can set this. Siri is not helping me out very much, but I can set it so that when I leave my current location, it'll beep at me and say, "Hey, call whoever or go to X, Y, or Z." And that's pretty neat. And you can do that on the iPhone 4. You obviously can't use Siri, but you can manually type it in. So it's pretty awesome. Yeah, I mean, I think those of us who wanted a bigger case and a larger screen were a little bit disappointed. But the fact is that it's a pretty solid device. It's still weird to me that they didn't bring a version out for T-Mobile. I think, on T-Mobile's 4G network, it would have been pretty awesome. And it's also, it's interesting that if you're going to use it overseas SIM unlocked, you can either buy an unlocked GSM only version, or you can get on Verizon or Sprint, and then they will unlock it after like 2 months, and you can use it with roaming SIMs over in other countries. So that's something to keep in mind if you travel internationally. If you don't travel internationally, AT&T is going to have the faster data speeds and let you talk and browse the web at the same time. But anyways, iPhone 4S definitely awesome. That's it.